everyone knows that in the current market scenario, it's really affordable which is selling. Developers across the country are struggling to sell luxury units. Mumbai developers are no exception. But what's happening in Mumbai market? Developers are trying out a new model called the Lease model. How does this model work, and should you as a buyer look into it? Ashwini Priolkar joins us with this report.
In the midst of the slowdown, the luxury units are the hardest hit. But developers in Mumbai have come up with innovative ways to beat this slump by leasing out these units. Developers like Suntech Realty, Kalpataru and Ekta World are already exploring this option.
Developers at this moment are facing a crash crunch. There's a mismatch between the demand and the supply. This lease yield that we get from the apartments usually help us to take care of our admin costs, of our office expenditure, and it really helps the cash flows.
According to the data from Prop Equity, out of the total 28,000 plus luxury units launched, only about 11,000 have been sold, leaving a whopping 17,000 units unsold. And the developers are perhaps left with no choice than to lease to beat the real estate blues.
It's a relatively new phenomena for India. And that too because the rental returns are still low compared to your mature markets. But I think it's a good way of trying to deal with the slowdown in the market.
Here's how this model works. A developer with a huge unsold inventory allows the customer to take the flat on an 11th-month lease, earning a monthly rental. This brings much-needed cash liquidity to the developer. For instance, for a 3 BHK unit in a location like Bandra, a developer would get a monthly rental ranging from Rs 2 to 2.5 lakhs. But the question is, are there any takers for this model?
Leasing becomes a good option typically for people who are looking at places from a transit accommodation perspective. They may not be from the same city. They may be, they could be NRIs, or these could be, typically corporate guest houses.
The next question to ask is, should home seekers be looking to rent instead of buying into the projects? Experts say with rental yields as low as 2 to 3%, especially in the luxury segment, it makes far more financial sense to lease.
A bank fixed deposit would easily get you 8% as a return. Even if you are at the highest bracket of 30%, you would still get 5.6% as your net return post-tax. And flats are available to you today at ranging between 2 to 3% maximum. So as a rental in terms of the value of the flat. So if I'm sitting on 10 crores, if I was to put that 10 crores into a flat, it doesn't make sense. Because for 2% of that cost, I can rent out that particular flat.
It might be a win-win situation for the customer because leasing an apartment means relaxation on property and other maintenance taxes. Developers don't really benefit much out of it apart from tiding over a short-term cash flow problem. In Mumbai, Ashwini Priolkar, NDTV.